All right, guys, welcome back to Basement Talk. We got Jason Borosky.
Welcome in.
Did he say that right?
Did I?
Yeah. Yeah,
Okay.
no, that
Dude,
was
I
pretty
was
good. People butcher it a lot.
No,
but
because I was practicing it.
It's Borosky is like
God,
the way my
okay.
family says, but that was
Borosky.
pretty close.
Okay.
People like have really messed it up before.
What's
Okay,
the weirdest
cool.
way somebody said it?
Broski.
Everybody just goes with Broski, like
Broski?
Really?
because it's smooth and rolls off
Yeah.
the tongue. Yeah, I like most commonly respond to that now. I would say
That's
more than
crazy.
like Jason even.
Yeah.
Do you have any
But-
nicknames?
No, I've never had a nickname my whole life.
Damn.
Except Broski now, but that's just because like it's shortening a name.
Let's give
But
him a
dude,
nickname, guys.
Thank you. Yeah, maybe by the end of the show. I
J
don't
bro.
know.
J bro.
But thank you so much for coming on. Like I said, we're on camera, but we just had Vicky on, and my algorithm was like, it was because we were talking moto when she came in, and your videos just kept popping up on my feed, and I kept clicking them. I kept seeing crazy videos, and I'm like, dude, it's the same guy every single time. So the algorithm caught it. I DM'd you right away. I'm like, dude, you got to come on our show. That shit you're doing is insane. Like you're crazy, dude. It's
you.
wild. And I know it takes a lot of hard work and dedication, but dude, it is literally insane. You're risking your life every week, dude. It's crazy.
Yeah, I am. Thank you for having me on. Thank you for saying that as well.
Of course.
Yeah, it's a lot of fun. It's definitely dangerous, but like I enjoy the adrenaline. I think that's like the main reason as to why that I do it is I just like the feeling of like being scared and trying to make something happen that you're afraid of and like seeing how it's going to work out. Which like can be stressful, but as it's actually getting more stressful now because I'm getting more comfy with like higher levels of stress. So then when something is super gnarly, it's like, oh my God, this
And
is
yeah.
I was going to say, it's
crazy.
one of those things too now where like, if you mess up, you're risking death. Like,
yeah.
That's that's what's scary. Like that, there's not a lot of people in the world that can do that.
100%.
So
Yeah, no, it definitely like is a part of it. But in like every time that I do anything, I try to like risk manage it as best as you can. You know what I mean? Like you at the very least try to take away the worst case scenario. And if you can like get out of the worst case scenario and kind of make whatever the next worst thing is relatively safe, then you're kind of in a pretty good place. And most of the time you're just like target fixated on success too. Like you can only like envision what you think is going to work out or how it'll work out for it to be able to happen that way anyways. So yeah, I try to not really think about the gnarliness of it or the like, you could die right now. Cause then that like, you might speak that into
you're not
existence.
going to hit the jump if you're also doing that, I feel like.
Yeah,
shitless.
exactly. Yeah. If that's like the only feeling that you have, it's like not really probably even going to be fun, which like, that's like the point of it at the end of the day is because it's enjoyable. You know, it's not like I want to just like actually risk dying every day.
Have you always been an adrenaline junkie?
Yeah, definitely. Like since I was a little kid, I've always like been an adrenaline junkie. But I grew up more so playing like stick and ball sports just because my parents moved to the town that I grew up in, not really knowing anybody. So that was like the easiest way for me to meet everyone. And they were both super athletic in those disciplines, I guess you could say. So that was like what they knew.
Like baseball, hockey?
Yeah, my dad was like a real good baseball player. My mom like holds records in her high school for track and stuff.
Whoa.
So yeah, my dad played baseball and football. So I just did that. And that was like how I met people. But I also had an interest in like all types of action sports stuff. And like my cousins dirt biked and snowboarded. And my parents ski and snowboard and stuff too.
Okay.
They're from the East Coast. And when you're from there, you just have to do everything because you do stuff as the seasons change. But yeah, like I would go to regular sports stuff, I guess you could say, and then come home and like build BMX jumps in my backyard.
Damn.
So I was just like constantly trying to find
And what
different
age
ways.
were you like starting to get more into like building the BMX jumps and
I mean, I like my first memory of like really trying to build jumps was when my neighbor, I was probably like 12, just old enough to be like, I could ride my bike like to town by myself, see the other spots that have BMX jumps. So like as like a pretty young kid, I would say that I like started trying to do
So
that.
you didn't grow up riding moto though. Like it was more BMX and then you got into riding dirt bikes.
Not even really BMX at all. That was just like having a BMX bike. I grew up like skating and snowboarding, but even that was just like a thing that you do as the seasons change.
Yeah.
But like I didn't really grow up riding moto at all.
I don't want to like I don't even know if the viewers are going to hate me for this, but like is BMX still like really popular right now? Cuz I feel like when I was younger when all of us were younger, it was like crazy. Like it was the coolest thing to get a BMX bike.
I feel like it was bigger than moto when we were growing up.
BMX is definitely like, do you know what Swamp Fest is?
No.
You guys got to look up Florida Swamp Fest.
I feel
It's
like I've
like-
heard of that.
it's a crazy BMX event that also kind of incorporates skateboarding now, but it happens in Florida every year, and they build like a very do-it-yourself skate park out of like OSB and like wooden pallets and stuff, and they burn the park down at the end of the event.
Oh,
and like they just have different contests, and everybody rides it like all throughout the weekend, and then they burn it down. It's like Burning Man, but like BMX themed in a sense. It's cool. Super sick, and like it's gotten big enough now to a point that like people that don't even participate in that community go to it just because it's like a fun party at night. They have a band playing stuff, but I would recommend going to it. It's one of the coolest events that I think I've ever been to. Like I'm definitely gonna go again next year. It was in Waldo, Florida last year, which is like near Gaines. 2 hours north of Orlando. Okay. Yeah, we flew into Orlando and we drove north. But yeah.
I used to have a BMX bike, and I had like the little rails on the side of it.
You didn't use it though.
Yeah, I did.
No, you didn't.
I broke my arm riding it. I'll never forget that.
Let's take you to Swamp Fest. That might be right.
No, there's tons of activities you can get into there that doesn't involve having to ride a BMX bike.
And then when you and like now talk about, I think I saw some clip, or I saw somewhere it was you saying that you started moto kind of late.
Yeah. So my cousins grew up riding dirt bikes and quads and like all types of motorsports stuff. And like we had a pit bike when I was a kid, but I never left my parents' front yard on a dirt bike until I was 18. And then I got a WR, which is just like a street legal dual sport, when I graduated high school. And that was just like my car. Like I would just ride that to work basically every day. And then like closer to graduating college was when I started like having enough money to buy a dirt bike. So then I like bought an actual 450 with like the money that I had.
What brand?
It was a 2003 Honda CRF 450 that I got for $2,000. Actually, because my great grandma died and I had $2,000 in a bond.
Wow.
And my neighbor was like, "I'll sell this to you for $2,400." I was like, "I have $2,000," and he was just like, "Here you go." So yeah,
that's crazy.
That was how I got the 450, and then when I got that, like I would try to jump stuff on my WR, but nothing like very seriously, and it like has like not good suspension, and it's like meant to be ridden on the highway basically. So when I got the 450, I was like, "Whoa, I understand how people can do this," and like I was always interested in it. It was just never really in the cards as a kid because like I was doing other stuff. I was like playing baseball and football and like snowboarding, and as stuff changed with the seasons, you're just doing stuff differently. And
what was your plan when you got it? Like, let me just do some street freestyle stuff, or like, did you want to go to the track with it, or what were you thinking when you bought the bike?
This is going to be an insane sentence to say on a podcast, but I didn't know that you could publicly go to the track until I was like 20 years old.
Damn.
I thought all tracks were only open when you were racing. Straight up until
that's actually interesting.
Yeah, that's like how tapped out of moto I guess that I was until recently. It was just like not really ever going to be an option until I like was finishing school and had enough money and was like, okay, this is now like within the realm of a possibility that like if I put a lot of work into this, it could become a thing. I always wanted to do it. Like it wasn't for like a lack of interest by any means. It was just like so not really gonna be a thing. And like in Pennsylvania, it's really hard to try to do what I want to do there because the weather's often rainy. It rains like a third of the year or more. And like there's woods everywhere. The land has been owned forever. Like it's one of the oldest states. You know what I mean? So you can't just like, people are territorial there. So like you can't just like go jump on the side of a building there in the same way that you can here. People are more okay with it for whatever reason that is. But yeah, so it just wasn't really like an option in my head until it was like able to be funded, I guess you could say.
Did someone teach you how to ride too, or were you self-taught?
For the very beginning of like the mechanics of like shifting and stuff, like self-taught, my dad like kind of. But like in terms of like learning how to wheelie, I taught myself how to do that. But then
how did you do that? Because I need to figure that out too.
Start with your feet down.
Okay.
Start with your feet down and like drag your toes like this. And basically all you want to try to learn is like the throttle that gets the bike to the balance point and like what the throttle will do to like bring the bike like to loop it out, or like what's going to get it up at all, or like how to get the bike up, which is just like treat your front suspension like a pogo stick. This is also more so on a pit bike, kind of what I'm describing. If you try to do it on a big bike, you already have enough power that it's like a little bit different. But I'll give you the wheelie tutorial.
You shouldn't have told him he's gonna get hurt.
I'm gonna kill myself.
You should teach him at the track.
I will.
Oh, no.
No, I've got I got a pit bike for my girlfriend that I could teach you on.
Okay.
That like the easiest.
put you on his
seriously,
girlfriend's bike.
it's easiest
Dude,
to learn on a
pit
pit
bikes
bike. It's easiest to learn on a pit bike because you're lower to the ground, so you could use both your legs kind of as like your right and left
Dude, I
balance
want to
point.
buy one.
Little pit bike.
That's sick.
What those are? Isn't it crazy how those are not like popular at all anymore though? Remember
Yes,
the races?
It just like goes in fads, I think.
That was crazy.
They don't
how
do those races anymore.
No.
I used to watch that too.
that was wild. People would be throwing hands.
Well,
and
people
stuff.
were like putting up serious money for it, and then I think like once COVID happened, it kind of put an end to it.
Like died out.
I don't know like what the deal was there, but that was like when I noticed people like no longer really tapping into pit bike stuff as much anymore. Or they just like had to go back to regular life, so they tore down their pit bike track or something. I don't know, but it was huge. It was a lot of fun. Like when I first moved out here, I rode pit bikes. I like bought a stock pit bike and raced it at Paula, thinking that the stock pro class was going to actually have stock bikes in it, and it just didn't at all. So I got like 11th, but it was still fun to try. It was cool.
What did you like? So you get your bike. What did you do for work before you started doing this?
I was a graphic designer for a sign company.
Okay.
So we would like rebrand the outside of buildings like Walgreens and Rite Aid and stuff like that. So I would just like redraw those rebrandings.
So when did this become a career path for you after that?
I wanted it to become a career path, like, and saw that it could be potentially if I like really put a lot of work in and tried to get pretty good at it, starting in like 2018. But that was like literally, I got that 450 I was telling you about in like 2019. So I was like, okay, I see that this like could be a thing because I have like, I don't know, the idea for it, I guess you could say, but not really any of the physical path yet. And then once COVID happened, it was an option to film stuff in the streets in Pennsylvania because everything was completely shut down. So I was like, okay, I could like start trying to do this here. By then I knew I wanted to move to California and at the very least come here and maybe nothing ever works. And I just had like a nice experience for 2 years in California and I went home because I didn't know how I was going to like stack up against everybody that was out here. Like it could have just been clear that it was like, yeah, you're never really going to be able to get that good at this. But yeah, I got out here and then just like put a bunch of work in and tried to figure out like what I would need to do to be able to make all this happen.
What inspo did you have from like doing this crazy shit though?
Skating and snowboarding.
Okay, so you wanted to bring that to the moto game. Like you had that idea in your head.
That's basically what it is. It's like street snowboarding on a dirt bike.
Yeah.
What would be the best way? Street skating or street snowboarding on a dirt bike would be the best like association to describe what I'm going for. And I just like loved dirt biking and was like, it's easier based on weather for me to move to California and try to do this.
And I noticed too, your style it's very different to these other like people like Vicky's or Axel's or like you're doing a lot of like you're very creative with the way you're making your video and content and like jumps and places and it's crazy.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah, I definitely
You have I feel like you're in your own lane with that.
there are other people that like do the same kind of thing, but for the most part I would say that I just try to look at it through the lens of like street snowboarding on a dirt bike all the time because that's just like that's the way that my brain works. Like if I look at a stair set, that's a feature or a roof or like pretty much the earth is like, how can you dirt bike that? Or how could you skate it or snowboard it all the time? Like when I was in high school, we like got a new rail put in out front of our school and I was like, damn, the new 12 stair looks sick. And like our quarterback is one of my very good friends, Tyler. He was like, what do you mean?
You just
like,
look at shit differently.
It's like it's nice steel or something. Like, why do you care?
Okay, that leads me to one of my questions, which was like, is there something you're eyeing up right now that's an insane jump that you just haven't done yet?
Not like, I mean, I'm sure you guys have seen me crash on that house.
Of course.
Yeah, I wanna
That
talk
like I
about
would
that
like to
too.
go back and do that again, but so you could sort of in a sense say I haven't done that yet because I haven't rode away from it, but I tried it. But otherwise, like there's nothing really. I guess that's just not the process that I go through. Like if there's something that I like really want to do, I'll either like figure out if it's possible and then go try to do that for the next project that we're working on or something, or it's just like totally not possible, or it's like you would need a serious budget and a lot of permitting to do stuff. Like there's definitely spots like that are like like on the roof of a building in like Chicago. You know what I mean? That like is on like you would obviously need a helicopter or something and a permit to be able to do that kind of stuff. So there's like ideas like that I have, but they're so obviously there's a lot of hoops to jump through to make that kind of stuff possible.
So what went wrong on that crash?
There was like a bunch of different things that went wrong. For the most part though, like I just didn't go fast enough. Thought I was in fourth. I thought I was in fourth gear and I was accidentally in third gear.
Oh no.
Yeah, so I like was starting and came around to square the jump up, and it's so bumpy in that field because it's just like a tilled field.
Yeah.
And I was starting just like in fourth gear, and because I was starting like from like a dead stop, I just stalled. So then I clicked down, looped back around, and like was clicking up, going really slowly. And you know how sometimes when you like go to shift up, your bike doesn't always like actually shift up. And I thought I was in fourth
Feels
gear.
like
and
it
just,
did.
Yeah, and just pinned it. People are like, were making fun of me in the comments for like, I should have hit it faster. And it's like, I mean, I hit it pinned. I just thought I tried to go as fast as I could, but I just was in the wrong gear. So yeah. So like, I knew right away when I was coming over the roof of the house that I was hitting the roof.
Yeah.
And I was just like, I'm going to try to run to the landing of this.
What injuries did you get? From
I broke my T8, which is like your vertebrae, like in the center of your back. And I might have broken my neck from that too. I like later found out that I have like a hanging vertebrae off one of my neck vertebrae that's trying to fuse to one below it. Which the recovery for my back was about like, I wore a turtle shell for like a month and a half. And then like, luckily just being young, I was able to like be back to riding like within 2 months. The whole experience of like healing and everything wasn't the gnarly part. The hospital experience was what was like pretty crazy, because there was a lot of back and forth as to like, I go to the hospital and they're like, yeah, you just broke your back. You're going to leave tomorrow. And then like a few hours later, they're like, we're going to fuse your back. And if you ever crash again, you could paralyze yourself. And if you move at all right now
So they
between
made
when
it
we do the
like-
Fusing
surgery,
your
you can
back mean?
paralyze yourself. To my understanding, they fuse, I don't know how, but they fuse a few vertebrae together so that they're now acting as if they're like one vertebrae.
Oh my God. And they did that to you?
That's not how it
Fact
works.
checker?
you can talk.
You are correct.
Okay. No, yeah, no.
yeah.
That's not what they did to me, but that is what they do when they fuse your
What they
back.
said they were gonna
Wow.
Yeah, they were saying they were going.
Oh shit.
do. Okay.
Damn.
So like rods and screws that connect them all together, so then they do act as one. So then the vertebrae on either side like helps.
Oh, that's sketchy.
Yeah.
Holy my
Would you
God.
say that's your worst injury, or was there something?
That's definitely my worst injury, but to Pat's point, thankfully that fusion didn't have to happen. I ended up just not needing any surgery, but the hospital experience was crazy because it went back and forth between like, that was not even on the table, and then that's what we're gonna do in 2 days, and then it's back to that's not on the table, and there was just like a lot of back and forth of like how the course of the next few weeks or the rest of my life based on those things could go, like while I was in there. But in terms of like gnarliest way to get an injury, yeah, that was probably my gnarliest injury. But I think that like the gnarliest injuries I've had is like concussions. That's like more
How many
don't know.
concussions have you had?
a lot. Like I don't know, like
Can't remember.
I mean that day I got knocked out. But apparently when my homies came over to me, they said that I was yelling for no one else to hit the jump, as if I thought I was on the track or something. But yeah, I didn't really remember any of that until we were like halfway to the hospital, and then like suddenly I came to and was like, okay, I get where I am now.
You know what's crazy about that landing too? The way you landed was almost perfect, because I feel like if you miss the roof and you land flat, it would have been like 20 times worse. You perfectly like
Clipped it.
rolled
right?
out it. Well, I wouldn't say perfectly, but there's
No, I know
you
exactly what you mean. It's the same thing as like, I don't know if you ever do this, but when you're dropping your phone, you kick it so it doesn't
Yeah.
just smack
Yeah,
the
yeah.
ground.
Yeah.
Like the roof was like my foot to the phone in a
No,
sense.
you're right.
Have you always had that instinct, or does that come with like the amount of jumps that you've done?
the foot to the phone.
I think that I've always had that. I think that you maybe get better at it over time, but I think that like when I start crashing, time slows down.
Really?
Yeah, like I can, like you know when you're playing GTA and you press the two
Slow-mo
the two
motion.
analog sticks down and the world starts stopping. That's straight up how it feels like when crashes. When I could tell that I'm beginning to crash, it's like okay.
How did you guys
goes
like
into slow-mo.
scout that spot? Or
So
like
that's
find
like-
that specific spot, or honestly any of your crazy stunts, and how does it work with like the monetization part? Are you guys kind of just going for like a crazy stunt that gets millions of views on YouTube and getting paid on that aspect, or are there brands and people paying you guys to like wear their clothes while you're doing it or put their logos while you're doing the stunts and things like that.
The sponsorship stuff is more like logo branded on your bike and what you're wearing and stuff like that, or like logos in videos or collab posts or stuff like that. But specifically like spot based stuff is just whatever you think is creative and cool and fun to try to do, which is sweet because that is just like a complete creative outlet for me then, or anyone else that's doing the same thing.
And there's not like specific days where you're like, okay, I need some new content. I'm going to go drive around and try to find stuff. Or is that what you do? Because you don't, I feel like you don't want to also do jumps and things you've already done or what other people are doing.
So there's a few different ways to try to film what I'm doing in the sense of the way that like you would put them out into the world. Whereas like something that's not super serious would just be like, would just go straight to Instagram. And then something that you really care about would be in a video part. And that's something that like you'd spend a lot of time working on that would come out in however long it takes until you put that video part out. But like stuff like Instagram stuff, it'll be like, okay, like I owe a deliverable of like this post by the end of this month. So we got to make sure that I can get that done this month.
Okay.
So that's like a short-term way, I guess you could say, that you have like deliverables for brands. But in the long term, I structure my career around filming video parts, which is just like more or less a montage or a highlight reel of the best stuff that you think you could do. It doesn't mean that I'm going to jump 12 houses in that video. It means that I'm going to try to do like the most creative nose manual or wheelie or flip or like the different facet of different kinds of tricks throughout the video to make it like an overall like well-rounded video part. But yeah, that's like what I'm structuring my career around is filming video parts.
What goes into the preparation for jumps like that? Is it like sometimes you're just like, oh, I'm just going to send it? Or are you like looking at the distance and managing stuff like that?
The best way that I always like equate it to is like robbing a bank. Cause like it's like there's a ton of prep work and then it's almost underwhelmingly quick how quickly it happens when you go to do it a lot of the time. Cause like in skateboarding, you can be trying a trick on a handrail for like 2 hours and like getting closer and closer like as it's going on.
And you can like kick out.
Exactly. You can kick out and stuff. But on a dirt bike, like you have to land it first try or you're just like going home. Like rarely do you like crash and then you're like, sweet, we get to try again. Like sometimes that's true. But like it's also especially rarely in the streets because like a lot of the landings are concrete or something that you like are going to break your bars on or just like break parts on or bend stuff. But a lot of it, it's like similar to robbing a bank. It's all planning, and I'll go to spots sometimes like 6 times before I ever even like plan to actually film anything there because there's a ton of prep work. Like you'll have to build like a wooden lip off of, like if you're going to jump a road, for example, where that on either side of the road, there's like a slope, there's like a takeoff and a landing, but there needs to be like a wooden wedge to get you up higher to get over like a guardrail or cars or just safely over to the landing. I'll like go there to 1, figure out if it's even possible. 2, sometimes you have to go at the right time to figure out when there's going to be the least amount of cars.
Okay.
And then 3, to figure out what kind of like ramp you would need and how easy it is to get that ramp there and like where you're going to film it from. And then you got to go home and build that ramp and then bring it back there. And then once you do, sometimes I've actually brought ramps to spots and been like, fuck, I built the wrong ramp. Gotta go build a new one. Yeah. And, but yeah, that's like, I would say generally what the prep work is like for, hitting a street spot. There's a lot of stuff going on beforehand. And then because I try to choose things that I know will work, but are also a challenge to me. Like I don't want to do something that I'm like, this is so easy and boring. You know what I mean? I want to do stuff that like when I'm done doing it, I'm like, I really had to battle for that, or I was really scared to do that, or I'm like proud of myself for what we did today. You know what I mean? So yeah, that's kind of the overall.
And
It's crazy.
And surviving a jump like you did, does that change your perspective on life at all?
It definitely, I always say that that's the day that I became a professional dirt biker because it was the day I learned to like take the signs that it's not working and that it's okay to just be like, I'm not feeling it today. But I definitely feel like the process more so still existed in the same way that I described before then. That day we were just led to believe we didn't have a lot of time. And there was like a handful of factors that led what happened to happening. But yeah, it definitely changed, I would say like my perspective on some things. I don't feel like I'm afraid in a sense to do like gnarly stuff now. I'll just more so like risk manage even more now. I guess like double check, I guess you could say now. My buddy Kyle, that like, to answer your question from earlier of like being taught, like who taught me, my buddy Kyle Boileau taught me like everything that I could consciously tell you about how to dirt bike. Like once I had started really dirt biking. And Kyle from the beginning was always like, you're going to have one crash that like changes the way you think about dirt biking forever. And that definitely was that crash. But thankfully, I feel like it just made me more of like a responsible and safe rider than like afraid or timid or hesitant in a sense. Yeah. I just try to like take risks that
Calculated
have
risks.
a definitive value now. You know what I mean? Like, I mean, that clip obviously did as well. Like before filming that, I wanted to hopefully land that and have that be like the ender to my video part. And in a sense, not landing it also like helped it. People know who I am because of it, which like is great. It also sucks that I didn't land it.
Crash.
But like, yeah, I don't know.
That other jump you did was crazy too over that train.
Yeah, the train
That
gap
was crazy.
The train gap was quite a mission. We went there and waited for like 7.5 hours for that train to go.
Oh my
I jumped the
God.
jump before the train came to make sure that it was like set up and made sense and stuff. But yeah, the high of like being on the phone with Kyle and him being like, go right now. And like just trusting that he sent me at the right time and that like the train's not too tall or like, you know what I mean? There's so many factors that like right before you go, you're like, shit, did we check that? And
Holy shit.
yeah, it was
Well,
like, you have to do this right now. Yeah, whenever we film
in your pocket.
Yeah, whenever we film street stuff, I have headphones on and I'm talking to Bobby or whoever. Bobby Bills is my, we film everything together.
Okay.
And I'm either talking to Bobby or Bobby and a spotter, but like we're always on the phone. That's
good.
Yeah, just because it like makes it really easy to be able to have comms at the spot
Know what's
for
going on.
for whatever you need to talk about. Even just being like, yo, run it again. Like I could do it better or something. You know what I mean? Like,
Okay. Hey guys, yes, I'm on a private jet, and none of this would be possible without our sponsor, Zill Media. If you need any social media or any content done, or even start a podcast like ours, they are the best in the business. Go to zillmedia.com and mention Basement Talk for a discount on their services. Now let's get back to the episode. Let's get off this fake jet. Go get back to the episode.
What are some of the thoughts that go through your head before you hit a jump like that?
nothing that you would think. It's all just like success based. Like it's not like, oh my God, I hope I don't die.
Like what I think I would be thinking.
What would
Yeah.
you think, Zach? Before
Fuck shit. What? I'd be dead, bro.
Nah, it's all just like thinking of what, like, do you ever play golf?
Yeah.
So you know your swing thoughts?
Yeah.
Pat's hyped on this.
Yeah.
Pat coined
What
this.
is the swing thoughts?
I played yesterday.
Sick.
Dude, it's like, am I swinging my backswing too
Yeah.
slow?
Yeah, your
Am I
swing.
going-
Yeah,
I
your swing
totally know
thoughts
what
are
you mean.
basically like your prep thoughts before you actually do it that you go through to make sure you do what you want to do the right way.
It's like right after your practice. So yesterday I played and I got in my head because I was like, I'd take a practice swing would be pure, and then I'd shank it. And then I just stopped taking a practice swing and then it was pure.
You think Rory would be good at moto?
You could be. You got a good strategy.
Yeah.
But yeah, so the swing thoughts is the answer.
That's interesting.
Yeah.
How did you get that dirt bike on the water tower?
We used a towable boom lift, which is
Wow.
like they're for like
You guys
electric.
are crazy.
They're for like electrical work.
You too, bro. You hang out. You guys are wild.
We rented it from Home Depot.
Dang.
And
Wow.
yeah, we just towed it out to the spot and then tied straps to my bike from the bucket as if it was a bucket that would it was like a crane basically.
Dang.
And then it pulled my bike up and put it on the top of the water tower, which like once I got up there was pretty gnarly because now you're just on the top of a water tower and you
I
can't
feel
even like
like-
warm up really. You know what I mean? You're just
Tell
like,
me
up
if I'm
there.
wrong, but it probably looks way crazier from your perspective than the video.
Yeah. With a lot of things in moto, you have a different perspective when you see it happen in real life. And like when you're doing it, you're like, oh my God, this is so big. And then when you watch it, it sometimes feels like it makes the clip look smaller
Yeah.
or easier or just less gnarly.
And were you injured when you did that jump?
So I was washing my bike and my bike fell off my stand and I broke my foot.
No.
Yeah. It
Wait,
broke.
the tire? Did
It broke my second metatarsal. Sorry, my like right here. My handlebar just like stabbed the top of my foot.
Damn.
And my foot like swelled up, and I thought I just had like a hematoma that needed to be drained. And then they were like, "Nah, you broke your foot." So, but I had a deadline that I wanted to like get the video out by and everything. So I jumped off the water tower with like 2 weeks into my foot being healed, or 3 weeks into my foot being healed, which was like I got an X-ray the day before I did it. It like wasn't actually healed at all.
Still broken.
Yeah, so broken. But I brought my boot and the peg that I was using to my doctor, and he was like, "You should be fine if you do it like 2 tries, but like don't do it like 5 because like you could displace the brake at that point." Like based on where like the injury was, it was like you got a couple tries.
And
You'll be all right.
how do you stay sharp like on the bike? Do you go to the track or are you
Yeah, I go to the track less.
How do you practice?
I go to the track less now. I went to the track a bunch when I moved out here just to like get seat time and honestly get better.
What track?
Kind of everywhere. Like we would go to Paula, we'd go to Paris. I love LACR. I hope LACR comes back.
I've never been to that one.
You got if it reopens, you got to
Is it
go.
dirt good?
It's so fun.
Wow.
Yeah, it's the best. Kahia. What was?
Elsinore.
Yeah, we'd go to Elsinore sometimes. What was the other one?
Verona.
No, I haven't been to Verona, but they filmed. Yeah, State Fair.
Oh, that I never got.
Yeah, when we first moved here, I went to Elsinore a lot. Yeah, because I didn't know anywhere else. I was just like, it's the closest one to my house.
That was me when I first got into it. I didn't know any better, so I just go to Elsinore.
Elsinore
Not to
is peak.
shit on it, but like it's literally if you fall, it's pretty bad.
Yeah, they like. I mean, it's made in a lake bed, so it'd be sweet if they brought in some different dirt. But
I think they're
the
bringing it
layout was always
back.
fun.
We talked about this like a couple times with the moto guys, but it's crazy how you can have like pros on the track with like just a normal
With that.
like a normal civilian.
Yeah.
Normal civilian.
Yeah, the first time I ever went to Paula, it was on Pro Day, and I didn't know that it was Pro Day, and I was like, everybody fucking rips here. This is crazy.
Who are you riding next to?
What do you say?
Who are you next to?
Like who did we like pit next to?
Yeah.
Thankfully, like near nobody,
Okay.
because I just was embarrassed.
Did
But
you go on the main?
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, I was like trying to see how long I could stay in front of Aaron Plessinger. It was like a turn.
Oh my god.
Sorry for being in your way.
Are you tapped in with like the moto world, like the racing?
I pay attention, but I never really raced. I mean, I've entered like 5 races in my life, but I pay attention. But I not super heavily. But I also like never really like watched a ton of professional sports other than Philadelphia sports because I'm from Philly, which is just a culture growing up there.
Philly cheesesteaks.
Yeah,
My
shout out
favorite
Philly
thing.
cheesesteaks.
Yeah.
It was a random.
No, dude. We
No,
went there.
that's like incredibly relevant to my life.
That's the best thing in the world. Like,
Yeah,
it's my favorite food.
yeah.
Where did we go
fair.
again?
Gyms?
That is my favorite
Gyms.
food
We went to gyms.
in Philly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Nice.
It was good.
There's a lot of good spots in Philly. There's a lot of good spots outside of the city too.
Yeah.
Like all around the suburbs. My girlfriend's from Havertown, which is like I don't know, like 15, 20 minutes from there. And there's a lot of good spots.
We
It's so
filmed the
cool.
podcast in Philly, but it was like 45 minutes outside of the city. I gotta find the name of the spot.
Yeah, let me know. There's a lot. There's a ton.
find
It's
it.
so
I'll
like
tell
a
you
thing
right
being
now.
from Pennsylvania is that everybody says you're from just outside Philly. And you could be 2.5 hours away from Philly. And you
just
still tell
reference
people, yeah, you're like,
Philadelphia
yeah, I'm
every
just
time.
right outside Philly. And like, you're not at all.
Have you ever tried hitting whoops?
Yeah, I have. I can hit like not super. I've never tried to hit supercross whoops, but I could hit like outdoor track whoops.
Southampton.
Here, let me see it. Click it on the map.
Southampton, you said?
Oh, it's over here. Holy shit.
You found it?
How does that say?
Yeah.
Just outside Philly.
Yeah, it's
You
in
never know.
Pennsylvania. It's
What
just
if
outside
like
Philly.
in what if it's like somewhere close to you? I don't know.
I don't think that it's
No.
super close. But
It's
I
like
will
3 hours.
also say that like oh, I know exactly where it is. I just went to a wedding in Bryn Athwin.
Really?
Yeah.
Damn.
That's crazy.
That's a trip.
Yeah, that's wild. Yeah, that's where we just were.
What kind of were you in a town? Where were you?
It was it's at a luxury like watch store.
Oh,
They're the
rad.
biggest gray market watch dealers in the world.
Wow.
They sell like watches all over the world. Like they're always in Sweden. Like super
Crazy.
interesting stories. And this guy, Yeah, he started this business, and then he was kind of the first guy to do YouTube in the watch industry.
So
And
he's the biggest dude.
Yeah, so he kind of pioneered the watch space, and we interviewed him at his spa, and it was crazy. So yeah, we were like in the middle of like it's nowhere we've ever been, but it was crazy content. That episode was really cool.
Yeah, it's funny. When I brought Bobby to Pennsylvania to film some stuff there for the first time, he was like, I guess kind of thought we were just going to Philly. And he was like, we're driving out to my parents' house, and he was like, "You live in the country," and I'm like, "No, I don't." And he's like, "Dude, we've only seen farms." Dude, I was like, wow, yeah, I guess like perspective wise, it does seem like the country when you go out there.
It's crazy.
Yeah,
I've like, yeah, I mean, we're just so used to everything here in California, especially like Southern California. It's like it's even different to Northern California.
Yeah,
It's a total different vibe.
What was your reaction when you moved out here? Like your first initial reaction?
Moving to California feels like you're moving to like the end game of life. Honestly, like do you guys feel like that growing up here that you started on like the final map of like Pro Skater 4?
Damn nice.
Like we know we're lucky.
Like you guys grew up on the unlocked map of life.
Yeah. No, I said this on the last show. I lived in Europe for a couple years playing soccer. I played professional soccer, and we come back.
That's sick. Good for you.
Yeah, and every time I'd come home, I'm like, there's no place like here.
Yeah.
Like California, especially Southern California, especially Orange County is beautiful. Like we're so blessed.
It's weird because you could be biased about it, but it's like you're not though.
I mean, look at the
argue
the
about
view
some
out of
shit.
here is very pretty. But
insane.
California is seriously is like the land of opportunity, in my opinion. You could just meet anyone that is down to help you or change your life or put you on a path that you want to be on or get you on that path or just help you at all. Like anywhere at any moment in time here. Like it's very crazy how it doesn't feel like that happens to that extent anywhere else that I've ever been. Wow. Which like that was how I felt, and that's how California feels to me, is that like a lot of the people that are out here are on a journey that they're like a dream journey that they're chasing, which is cool. It's like a cool, I don't know, life to feel like you're surrounded
people.
by all the time. Yeah. I definitely miss driving on back roads. Like it stresses me out how many pedestrians there are just like on the road here.
Yeah.
E-bikers?
Yeah, there's some e-bikers here, but I mean, I have an e-bike myself, so I get it. But yeah, it's I definitely love California. I don't think I would be able to like live here forever, just like affordability wise. And my whole family's still on the East Coast, and my girlfriend's family are like all still on the East Coast. So like
people drive slower on the East Coast.
Do you guys like get mad at California? Do you guys like shit talk each other as like different like type of drivers depending on where you're from here? Because like on the East Coast, like if you're from New Jersey, you're like stereotypically the worst driver on the planet. Sorry, New Jersey people, but like people, I would say
We definitely do.
you do.
Oh,
Yeah,
for sure.
I
But
just
I'm not
feel-
gonna say like what we.
Anytime
at
I've
least for
driven
me, like-
outside of the state, I get pissed off because everybody's driving slow.
Yeah.
What should I have not said it?
No.
That's it.
You know what
That's it.
you know what we're gonna say, but we can't say it. But
Yeah.
It'll
Like,
offend someone.
I'd hate
Oh,
some
you-
Maryland drivers because I'm a Virginia guy.
Yeah.
I feel like
No,
everybody
there's
outside
some-
of California drives like shit.
Gotcha.
Yeah, it's pretty bad.
Yeah,
Especially,
but
like, right
at least
here.
they're going. They're moving. People are slow. I don't know. I could be tripping.
Gotcha.
Who is someone that really like has helped you a ton when you moved out here? Somebody that you admire a lot.
My friend Colby Raha helped me like absolutely the most. Like literally the day that I met Colby, he invited me to film for his movie Narnia, which was like a huge step in the right direction for me. I had just put out my first street part, and that was like my first street part that would be filmed for something beyond just my YouTube channel or anything, which is still sick to be able to do that
so
too.
cool.
But
did you meet him at the track?
no, I met him at the Metal Militia compound, which is at the Lynn Kogel family's house. So shout out to Lynn Kogels and shout out Metal Militia. They also really helped me get on the path to like learning tricks and just getting better and stuff. But yeah, like right from the beginning, Colby helped me a lot. And he like trained me in quarter pipe, which like he helped me get into the X Games last year to like learn how to ride the ramp and everything. So yeah, he's been a huge help on just like putting my career in the direction that I wanted to go.
That's awesome.
I'm gonna flip that question now. Is there anyone who didn't believe in you?
Not really, because I never really told anyone what I wanted to do. Like,
Nobody knew.
I mean, like, I don't know. Have you guys ever, this might be a stretch, but have you guys ever seen that J. Cole interview where he talks about how he like didn't even tell his mom he wanted to become a rapper because he didn't want to let anyone potentially shut his dream down?
Yeah.
That's
that was
interesting.
That was like kind of the same thing that I did. Like, I only told people that I knew would be like, fuck yeah, cool. Let's try it. And like anyone else that I thought might have any objection to the possibility of it working, I wouldn't. I just didn't want them to be like, well, here's 10 reasons why that would never work. Yeah. Because like, I mean, if I talked to you about dirt biking in 2017 as a career, you'd be like, okay. And what, you're going to be a professional pogo sticker
Especially
on the moon
that
next?
late
Like,
in your life.
it just doesn't seem like it would ever really have been a thing at that point in my life. But like, I always wanted it to be, but it was something that I wasn't really able to tangibly try until later on. So yeah, there's never really any doubters just because I didn't allow there to be, I guess.
How was that phone call getting into the X Games?
Crazy.
Where were you? Like who called you? Like what was that about? That's crazy.
It was like you get an invite via email. I was with Colby, and like Colby had been training me and helping me with stuff. So I it was just mind blowing. That was like an absolute dream come true to be able to do that. I'm hoping to get in again this year. I don't know yet how it's gonna go, but
Colby won too, right?
Colby's won 4 times. Damn. He got second last year.
Who won? Was it? It was an Axel, right?
Corey Creed won.
Corey Creed.
Yeah, he's an Australian.
Yeah, he's actually not. I think
everybody's going super high, so
he's built such a big name, Colby. It's crazy. Like even I've like I don't even think I've seen his stuff much, but
Colby.
I have seen his stuff, but like. Yeah,
you just might not know it.
No, but I know his name. Like, his name is very popular.
You probably have. He has. I'm pretty sure he actually has the most viewed video in moto with like 87 million views.
Really?
What? Yeah.
Do you know what video it is?
Yeah, he jumps down a drain in Hawaii.
Oh damn,
dude, that video is crazy.
Yeah,
really?
It's actually insane.
Yeah, honestly, you've probably seen it. You just might not have realized. Like, put the 2 and 2 together or something. But yeah, it's
what's he
gnarly.
up to right now? Like, what's he doing?
Practicing stuff. Just like,
is he in California?
Yeah, he's in California.
Shit,
he has a spot up like beyond Victorville. He's actually doing an event on May 31st to June 2nd. Up at his spot. You guys should come to it. It's gonna be sick. We're doing like a quarter pipe show. He's gonna break a world record that I like is not publicly released what he's gonna break yet, or what he's gonna attempt. And then there's pit bike races and stuff. There's gonna be like nighttime pit bike races with like a bunch of different classes. Yes, yeah, it's open. Yeah, public.
Shit.
Like there's like A, B, and C classes for the pit bike races, so you can enter whatever one you want to enter. You guys should come. It's gonna be sick.
I'm gonna sandbag.
I'm down.
I'm gonna start training.
That sounds sick.
That's so cool.
Yeah, it's gonna be a good time. He's done a bunch of events previously, and all of them have been a lot of fun. They're cool.
Let's get a Zilt or basement talk pit bike.
Yeah,
do it up.
That'd be so funny.
I'm down. Let's mod it out.
Dude, if you could do that.
Do it.
We're not getting injured.
Well, just for the pride, you know. Why not? Why not?
I love it. You guys should. I'm pretty sure that he's planning to do other events in the future as well. You guys should definitely plan to be at this next one or some of them. They're cool.
Dude, that's sick. What do you think that you would do like if you didn't do this? Or what other things are you like interested in? Like, what do you do other than when you're riding?
I mean, I just got back from snowboarding. We were just in Mammoth over like the past few days. I probably would just be snowboarding and working. I'd probably like work more of a normal job and still just snowboard and skate and dirt bike. And
I bet you're really good at snowboarding too.
I'm pretty good at snowboarding. I'm definitely not like compared to. I'm not doing like
crazy shit.
Anything super crazy. Yeah, I'm not doing like 1440s. I could like 7. Like a shitty 7. But yeah, I have a lot of fun snowboarding.
That's so cool.
Awesome. But yeah, probably just like I would still do all the same stuff. I would just work a regular job to fund it. But moto is like takes so much effort and resources and time, and not being in Pennsylvania, and like there's so many factors into it that like you almost have to pick one, either working or riding moto for a living, because there's just like so much time and energy that goes into not even riding to be able to do any of this stuff. Like I was talking to my buddy the other day about like what I would do if I won the lottery, and the first thing I would do is get like an assistant just to like help get everything done. There's just so much stuff that you have to do, which like I didn't really realize, I guess you could say, getting into it, how much there is to do. And I don't love all of it, but like I do enjoy a good bit of it, enough to obviously continue doing it. But yeah, there's a lot of stuff.
What was that first big sponsor for you that like made it a career for you?
A weed company called Heavy Hitters.
Oh dang.
Yeah, we Pat and I. Yeah, this is a ode to California. Pat and I were at the Sopwee bike park in Thousand Oaks, and we were just like, it was just like me, Pat, and our buddy Jake, and the owner of the company, Skylar, and we were just all like lapping the park, and he was like, "Hey, what are you guys doing here on a Wednesday afternoon? Like, how are you here right now?" And I was like, "Well, I moved out to California to try to become a professional dirt biker, and then these guys are hanging out with me and visiting, and they help me film stuff and do everything too." And he was like, "What do you need to do to," like, he was just asking me questions then and just talking about like where it was at right now, where I want it to go and everything. And he was like, "Well, what do you need to like make it go any further?" And I was like money or exposure. And he was like, "I can't really help you with the exposure, but I got you with the money." And then he just started paying me to ride for his
That's
weed company.
sick.
That's
And
insane.
that was like cool because it was validating for my brain. One, that this is a thing. Two, that you can meet people in California that like are down to help you. And that like somebody also with money sees that like what I'm doing is worth backing. And just that like it could really go somewhere. And it definitely helped me a lot. I mean, like they helped me fund my Today video part, which is like 1.7 million views on YouTube now.
That's crazy.
And that was like the first, like, because a lot of that footage was filmed like starting in 2021. And then like it only came out in 2024 in April. But that's just because of how long it takes to film a video part, and with the house crash and stuff, it like took a bit longer than I had originally hoped. But yeah, that was what kicked it off.
That's awesome.
Are you
Yeah.
in the middle of filming like a little thing right now?
Yeah, so I'm filming another video part right now for a brand. I'm not gonna like really go into it,
yeah.
but I'm super excited to be working with them. It is the shortest period of time that I've ever filmed a video part in, which is like hopefully gonna be out before the end of this year. But Bobby and I definitely have like a system down as to like how we kind of try to do everything now. So it's like a little bit less stressful and overwhelming to try to do stuff under a shorter period of time. But yeah, I'm working on another one. The goal is to be able to film to continue filming a video part shortly after the last one comes out until I like no longer want to be a professional dirt biker. Like that's like how skating and snowboarding, like street skating and street snowboarding like structures their careers more or less.
Yeah.
And that's like what I want to do with moto, because it's not really that common in moto to have your career being based on video parts. I obviously like also want to compete in the X Games and have like there be a competition side to what I'm doing, but I just love the creative side to it. So that's like really what I want to be able to structure my career around. Like originally I wanted to be able to compete in Real Moto, which was an X Games video contest, but they, since COVID, haven't done that for the last few years. Maybe it'll come back, maybe it won't. But yeah, I just want to be able to film video parts for a living until I like no longer want to film video parts for a living.
This is probably a dumb question too, but do guys like Deegan and all these guys, are they in X Games? They don't do X Games?
Dude.
Bro, I see like
No, they don't. But
Bro, I don't know.
it's not.
Deegan could probably do
no,
X
not
Games
Deegan.
though.
I'm not saying Deegan. I'm talking about like
Do any like professional moto racers
Yeah,
switch
so-
over to X Games?
So not right now, but they used to. Like Jeremy
Really?
McGrath, Jeremy McGrath and Ricky Carmichael and
See, you
maybe a
got
couple
my
other
back.
guys all like competed in Step
you're
Up.
good. Had my
Yeah,
back, too.
it wasn't as crazy of a statement, but yeah, no, they did. I'm pretty sure Jeremy McGrath and Ricky have both won Step Up.
Dang.
Yeah,
shit on
Pastrana is
those.
Oh, yeah,
like
the straight rhythm.
Pastrana's by
Actually,
the
they
time
do.
that yeah.
Is straight rhythm considered like? No, it's not. It's not X Games, is it?
I think
No, Straight Rhythm is a Red Bull event.
Yeah, the
Hayden
Red Bull
Deegan
event.
might do it. Kind of runs in the like his dad was. Doing
Yeah, I mean his dad like made a whole career off of X Games and everything.
When he's done
But
racing.
right now, there's not really a crossover in the same sense that there used to be.
That
but
would be nuts.
I do think it'd be cool.
Kobe, that's actually it isn't a bad idea. What if like Deegan did do that?
Hayden
like his
just
dad?
goes into the X Games like while he's mid season.
We're gonna copyright that
I don't
idea.
know.
Financially, it's probably not smart because he'll make way more money not doing that.
Yeah.
But
And it's a lot more risk, right?
Did you?
Yeah, I
see
mean, it
him
depends
just
on what
take-
event you're
you see him
competing
just
in.
Take the guy out for the $1 million. Cole
Cole
Davies.
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 I didn't watch the race just because I was like doing stuff. Supercross is always like on a Saturday, like at
Middle of the
night.
day.
You know what I mean? Like I always just end up watching the highlights for
Yeah.
the most part, unless
Yeah.
I'm like up with Colby and we're going to be like we're watching Supercross tonight. But like, yeah, I didn't watch that live, so I don't like. I haven't formed an opinion on it yet. I guess is what I should say.
who's your favorite racers? 450 and 250.
250 Deegs, 450 Tomac.
Yeah, Yamaha.
That's a good choice.
Yeah,
Do you ride Yamaha?
yeah. Yeah, I love the new Yamaha. It's so sick.
Is it good?
Very.
I have the 2023, which is like right before they changed the.
No, that's the new model.
Is it?
Yeah, the 23 is the new model.
I think
It was 18 to 22 was the old model.
I
And
must
that
have
one,
the-
you like sat lower. The bike felt wider, felt like even a little heavier. The newer one, like, does your bike sound like it has a turbo?
Yeah.
It's like whistle a little. Yeah, you got the new
threw a
model.
pro circuit on it. Probably didn't help, but sounds good.
Yeah, no, it definitely sounds sick, and it looks cool.
Yeah, exactly.
But yeah, I love the Yamahas. I have a Yamaha, and I have two Yamahas, and I have a Stark. And I mean,
Dude, the Starks are crazy.
They are crazy.
They are
You
crazy.
think that's the next
Those
like
are
wave?
sick.
Yes and no. Like, I don't think that moto is going to become like completely electric. I think that the type of person that's interested in motorsports likes all that goes into it, involving engines and noise and all that stuff, you know. But I do think that there's like totally a place for it.
You should do some. You should do some crazy stuff with the Stark. Some videos with it.
I've seen you
you
ride
have.
on it.
Yeah, I've done like some Instagram stuff with it, and I was going to ride it for quarter pipe this year, but X Games recently banned the electric bike.
Oh wow.
Oh wow. Yeah.
Yeah, which is like a pretty big deal, like within our world.
Yeah.
That was a decision that they made. But yeah, I like the Stark a lot. I think it's super fun to ride, and I think that like if you and I were the same speed on a track and you were on a Stark and I was on a 450, you'd kick my ass 10 times out of 10. Like I think you just can be faster on a Stark. Yeah, I mean, you don't have to do as much thinking because there's no clutch and there's no shifting. You're always in the right gear. You always have like the exact amount of power you want. You know what I mean?
Is
There's
the
like
throttle really snappy though on those things, or is it? Could you like ease into it?
compared to a
I might get one
Yamaha,
of those.
you'd like it. I was thinking about bringing it today. But I just like was moving too much stuff around in my van from going snowboarding.
I might get one actually.
No, dude.
You'd
They're
like
like
it.
10 grand though.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Like 10. They're
It's heavy.
wild,
Very
but-
expensive.
you'd like it.
Dude.
But yeah, the power of the Yamaha delivers earlier in the twist of a throttle than the Stark.
Got it.
So I think that if you ride a Yamaha frequently, the Stark doesn't feel as crazy as if you like.
I like that though.
You're fresh
Yeah.
to it.
I whiskey throttle way too much. Like
Gotcha.
Yeah. So
See,
that's
I'm the
good.
opposite. I like wish the Stark was more like
Really?
mapped like my Yamaha. Yeah, I'm just so used to it. So it's like if I'm like going slow, you can just like honk it
Aren't
and
there
go
only
wherever you
two
want.
colors? It's a white or black.
For
Gray.
the Stark,
Yeah.
white, black, or red.
White, black,
Red?
or red.
I
Yeah,
thought there's gray too.
or yeah, gray, white, red. Actually,
Oh,
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Ha- oh,
No,
What?
go ahead. Go ahead.
I was just gonna say, have you ever been like arrested or trespassed doing a stunt
Um,
that you
One-
can talk about?
one time I got pulled over as we were packing up, and the cops were basically like, "You have to get a retroactive permit," which is like if you have a shed in your backyard and you didn't get a permit for it, and then the city found out you have a shed in your backyard. They were like, "Yeah, you just have to get a permit," as if you would have gotten a permit to like do this correctly. And I just never got one in the mail.
Oh dang.
So I just nothing ever happened. It all just worked out. But so far that's the closest to. I mean, I talk to the cops frequently. Like,
Yeah.
they will come, but for the most part, like,
Are any of them fans?
I haven't met any cops that know who I am yet. No, that would be cool though. But
would be
they're a fan of me being nice to them. Like, I definitely am like, hey, look, I'm just like kind of doing my job. I'm not trying to mess with anybody. I'm not trying to damage any property. Like, I feel bad you're even here right now. Like,
Yeah.
I'm gonna ride on this wall and I'm gonna leave, and you're never gonna know I was here. And they're usually like, all right, this is like way easier than it could be. I'm just gonna go.
They're pretty chill about
Or
it.
they'll just be like, get out of here, don't come back, knowing like we're gonna come back in an hour or something. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
Go
for the
through
most
protocol.
part, California cops are also more chill, I think, than Pennsylvania cops are, just because there's so much to deal with out here. There's just literally like way more people
They're not worried about
than
a
the
guy on a
town I
bike.
grew up in
Yeah.
Pennsylvania. You know what I mean? So like Downingtown, PA doesn't have the same amount of stuff going on as
yeah.
as the middle of California
Your
does.
highest
You know?
priority on the cops' radar out there.
Yeah, and people are just more down to be territorial, I think, on the
Got
East
it.
Coast. They they take pride in their yard and like the land around them, I would say.
Yeah.
So they don't want to see you messing with it.
Have you ever had any weird fan interactions? Maybe on Instagram too.
I haven't really had any like really uncomfortable ones, but I do sometimes have like drunk people come up to me and they're like, "You're the dude that crashed on the house." And at first they're like, "It's so sick to meet you." And then it gets into them being like, "You're a fucking idiot." And I'm like, "What?" Like, are you still complimenting me, or are you like being a dick now?
Yeah.
You're like,
But and I think that they don't mean to be a dick. They're just
Yeah.
like
Too comfortable.
partying and like too comfortable or some shit. But I have had that happen sometimes
You're
where I'm
like,
like,
"What'd you say?"
"What?" It's just like
Yeah.
funny because like I don't really care. I know they're just
Yeah.
like partying too hard. But yeah, I've had that interaction happen before, which is funny.
oh my
Well,
gosh.
dude, we freaking appreciate you coming on.
Yeah, this is cool.
Yeah, of course.
This
Thank you
was a
guys for having
pleasure.
me.
Dude, come back anytime.
Yeah,
Hop on. Hop
Do a
on
jump
the show
over the
anytime.
office.
I would love to. I'll jump from your building to the next building or something. That'd be sweet.
That'd be crazy.
I'm gonna be looking for jumps for you now. Maybe get some ideas going.
Yeah, I would love
I
it.
mean, shit.
Dude, anything that you see that you
do
think
it.
might work.
Take a
Yeah.
photo and send
Yeah.
it.
Tell the
Even-
viewers too. If
yeah,
they see
yeah.
anything,
If anybody
hit his
sees anything
DMs.
that you think
DM.
might work, send it my way because I'm
Awesome.
down. Yeah, thank you guys. I
No,
appreciate it. It was a
thank
great
you
time.
so much. And if there's any last words you want to say to your fans, your family, or anyone listening,
My dad's birthday is in a few weeks. Happy birthday, Dad. Love you.
Awesome.
Love you, Mom and Dad.
Fire.
I love it, dude. And Kyler, Zach, thank you. Everybody watching, please follow him. We're gonna link everything down below. You guys, we really appreciate all the love this last couple weeks. Every single Monday at 5, please
All the love. We've been
subscribe.
getting a lot of hate.
We have.
We
but
only get
it comes
hate.
with love too. You know how social media is.
I do.
We love
I
that.
do.
Yeah.
I do. I got one more thing too for the camera.
Yes.
Hi, Steph. Hi, Jimbo. It's my
Let's
girlfriend.
go.
She's gonna be hyped about
Let's
that.
go.
Jimbo's our cat.
Oh my dude, let's go,
Perfect.
Jimbo. Guys, subscribe to Jimbo.
Yeah. Jimbo's
go.
in the link below.
Yeah, we're gonna link Jimbo. Everyone's down below. Guys, thank you so much for watching and peace.
Peace.
Jimbo.